In Spanish, I'm sure you know that nouns can be masculine and they can be feminine, just like in all Romance languages. And it's really important we know this because the word for the has 4 forms: el, la, los, or las. We have the masculine singular, the feminine singular, the masculine plural, and the feminine plural. And the word for a or an also has 2 forms. So we have un for masculine and una for feminine. And you'll also come across unos and unas, which means some. Now, if I've got a word like bolígrafo, then I've got to work out, is it masculine, is it feminine? Every single noun you come across, you need to know, is it masculine, is it feminine? Not a problem that you have if you're learning English, for example, because we don't have grammatical gender in the same way. Now, there are some patterns I'm going to share with you, because I need to know, would it be una bolígrafo or un bolígrafo? Would it be el bolígrafo or la bolígrafo? If I've got 2 of them, bolígrafos, would I say los or las? Now I'm going to teach you some patterns to help you work out when you come across a new noun, is it masculine, is it feminine? Now the obvious place to start is with the endings o and a, because 9 times out of 10, if a word ends in o, it's going to be masculine. This is a good sign that it's likely to be masculine, and similarly, words that end in a are likely to be feminine. So going back to bolígrafo, a pen, normally like a normal sort of pen rather than a whiteboard pen, un bolígrafo or un lapicero, another word for a pen, they both end in o, so it's masculine. El bolígrafo, the pen. If I take the word botella, a bottle, it ends in a, so it's going to be la botella. Tengo una botella, I have a bottle. Un vaso, a glass. Vaso, un vaso, el vaso, it's masculine. A book, un libro. Un libro, el libro. If I've got multiple, los libros. The word for word, palabra, una palabra ends in a. So this is 9 times out of 10. Now, what are the exceptions? Words that end in ma, they're not all masculine, but they are mainly masculine. This catches people out a lot. You've got things like la crema, the cream, that's fine, but words like el clima, the climate, el sistema, the system, all the words that are of Greek origin and end in ma, they're all masculine. El problema, if I have a problem, tengo un problema. I might ask, ¿cuál es el problema? What is the problem? Some other exceptions with this one, we've got words like el mapa, the map, ends in a, but it's masculine. El día, the day. So if I want to say one day, un día. The word for planet, again, I believe it's of Greek origin, el planeta, the same as like el sistema, el clima. Similarly, we get some words that end in o, which are feminine, like la mano, the hand. It's feminine, la mano. Una mano, give me a hand, échame una mano. Another key ma word is el idioma, the language. El idioma, again of Greek origin. So they're ones to watch out for. Now some quick wins on the feminine side. Words that end in dad. If you see a word ends in dad, it's going to be feminine. This is the equivalent of ty in English or te apostrophe in French. Words like society, sociedad, société in French, or activity, actividad, masculinity, masculinidad. Even city, ciudad, you can see this ending. So dad words, they're always going to be, pointing in the wrong place, they're always going to be la and una. Una actividad, an activity. La actividad, the activity. La universidad, the university. So those ones are really easy to remember. Now, not just dad, but actually any that end in d or z, they're more likely to be feminine as well. Words like salud, health. La salud pública. So it also tells me knowing the gender also means with an adjective like público, pública, public, so public health. I know then whether to say público or pública. La salud pública, because it's feminine. The modern university, la universidad moderna. I'm changing moderno to moderna. So knowing the gender of the word is not just essential for knowing how to say the, knowing how to say a. So what we call the definite and the indefinite articles, it's also essential for me to know what am I doing with the adjective if I need to change the adjective. A couple of examples that end in z, the voice, la voz, V-O-Z, la voz. La nariz, the nose, la nariz. Another pattern, words ending in ion, often acción or ición, like nation, la nación, they're always going to be feminine. La religión, religion, la religión. La natación, swimming. Some more things that catch people out. Some of these, they're not that consistent, like the Z. You know, it might be that 6 times out of 10 it's feminine, or 7 times out of 10, but there are plenty of words that end in Z, which are actually masculine, like el pez, the fish, el lápiz, the pencil. Words that end in O, some common ones that catch people out: foto, moto. Now the reason these are la foto y la moto or la bici, the reason these are feminine, even though they don't end in A, is because actually they're shortened versions of longer words. Like in English when we say a photo, it's a photograph. Una foto is una fotografía. So it does actually end in A, we're just using the shortened version. The same with moto, motocicleta, it's got an A on the end, but we're shortening una motocicleta or la motocicleta to just la moto or una moto. The same with la bici, same as bike, short for bicycle. Bicicleta, it ends in an A, una bicicleta. It can help us to think of the long version if we get a bit stuck. Is it un foto or una foto? Remember, foto is short for fotografía. Now these are just some tips to help you remember some of the patterns. Unfortunately, there are plenty of words where you just need to remember that specific word. Is it masculine? Is it feminine? Words that end in E are probably notoriously some of the worst ones because there's plenty of examples of masculine words that end in E, feminine words that end in E. Like leche is one that catches people out. It's la leche, the milk. Just realized I meant to put this in green and this in red to make it easier, so sorry if that's confused you. So all of these dad words, like I say, 100% of the time, that's a really good pattern. These words, really good pattern. This one, probably 9 times out of 10, and these ones, again, it does vary, but more feminine than masculine. These words, again, this one's 9 times out of 10. These words, probably more like 7 times out of 10, and then these are some ones to watch out for. One final pattern to be aware of, or one final tip, is that any words that end in a consonant other than D or Z, as we know those ones can vary, any other consonant on the end is most likely to be masculine. Before you go, behind me, there's a list of some high frequency words in Spanish. I want you to try and work out for each one, would it be el or la, un or una? Vida, meaning life. It ends in A, it's la vida, life. Grupo, meaning group. What do you think? El grupo. Formación, which can mean formation or it can also mean training. Formarse is to get trained in something. Formación, it ends in ION, it's la formación. Amor ends in a consonant, which is not a D or a Z, so it's going to be el amor, love. Helado, meaning ice cream, it ends in an O, a good sign that it's el helado. Casa ends in A very good sign that it's la casa. País, now this one doesn't end in an O or an A, it ends in a consonant, the same as amor, and it's not a D or a Z, which is sometimes masculine but often feminine, so it's going to be el país. El país means the country, it's also the name of a popular Spanish newspaper. Mes, again, ends in a consonant that isn't a D or a Z. El mes, the month. Celebración, it's got this ending again, celebración, a bit like formación, información. La celebración. So if I wanted to say a celebration, una celebración. If I wanted to say a fun celebration, divertido, I'd have to change to divertida. Una celebración divertida. A celebration, fun, adjective going after the noun and becoming feminine so that it all matches up. Yeah, singular and feminine, singular and feminine, singular and feminine. If I want to say the fun celebrations, I'd make all of this, or I've not got room, but I'd make all of this plural. Las celebraciones divertidas. With el amor, love, if I want to say pure love, then it would be el amor puro. So I'm using pure in the masculine. Whereas if I want to say pure life, la vida pura. So I'm changing puro to pura. So it's really important knowing whether words are feminine, whether they're masculine, and following those patterns. It's not going to work 100% of the time, but maybe 95% of the time we're going to get it right.